Okay, so I have a quick message about your emotions are the gateway to the spiritual realm. How you feel is literally your bridge to the spiritual realm of all things magic, of all things, and literally, because feelings are literally water represents the emotional, the intuitive aspects of life, right? So Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer are all water signs and all rule the emotions and the intuitive aspect of the world. Earth, fire, water, and air, right? Water rules the emotions. So, being in touch with your emotions is a really, really big part of being able to use your spiritual gifts, your intuitive gifts, your psychic gifts. And that's one reason why we're so disconnected from the spiritual. Or I'll say that we were, because it's not really so much that way anymore. But still, there is this kind of continuous pushback of emotions, right? Of ignoring our emotions, of saying that our emotions don't matter, that like stop talking about how you feel, right? Like I feel also, when it comes to readings, the reader has to feel in order to share the message, right? Like sometimes, it's kind of like, it's funny when you do readings, you can also pick up the energy of how people feel who watch the readings. And I have to stay neutral, right? Like that's just something also that you have to practice, because it's like you're on a boat. You get dragged all around and pushed this way and that way, and like that's a part of the thing that you have to be able to deal with also to do this, right? And it takes you on a ride. You're on a ride out there, literally on the fucking ocean going. So anyways, and I feel like for some folks, the idea of it just, for some folks, it's like you just sound like you're sharing how you feel, right? And it's like, but that's our job. Like, that's literally exactly what it is, because that is where the magic lives. Like, that is your intuitive compass, how you feel, right? And it's like, how do you think of it? Your intuition is literally like, if you're in a room, okay, and this is everyone, I feel like anyone can relate to this. If you're in a room and somebody is there and they don't like you, you can feel it. They don't have to say anything to you. They don't have to tell you verbally, right? You can feel it. Like maybe you're not even pulling that much in like into it, right? Like you're not thinking about it that much. But let's say someone introduced you to somebody else, right? Without words, you can feel, right? A feeling that makes you say, okay, I feel like there's something weird with this person. Maybe something's weird. They don't really like me or something, right? That's your intuition. If you're in an area and the hairs start to stand up on your back or your neck and you start to feel like worried, that's your intuition telling you that there's a sense of danger, right? And what we will do is we'll tell each other, you're tripping, you need to chill, you need to relax. You're paranoid, you need to do. And it's like the more spiritual you get, the more confusing it can get, because then we're starting to talk about spiritual warfare, people throwing magic at you, right? So like using their emotions to send like frequency of negativity towards you that then affects you, even though in your personal space you may be feeling okay, right? But like it comes with the territory of doing the work and like growing spiritually, right? Because then you get more in control of dealing with just regular day-to-day emotions, right? I feel like that's what it is. Like it's like levels. So all I'm saying is like naturally, you know, naturally you feel it. Naturally, like you're meant to feel these things. And it's really when you say no, is when you're blocking your intuition. You know, like being paranoid is telling you something. Like I really don't, it's telling you something. It's always telling you something. Like I feel like that's the worst thing we can tell. You're being paranoid. You know what it's like, paranoia, okay, either comes from just the reality that you're traumatized from something that has happened prior that needs to be accepted as a traumatic experience. Okay, like it's like paranoia doesn't just come out of anywhere. Anger doesn't just come out of anywhere. It comes from things. And so being an open channel, a part of that is being able to feel what you feel, you know what I mean? And have an open heart and being able to like really take in that water. Like it's really like drinking water, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like it has to flow through you. And that's what connects you to the intuitive realm. And then that's when you start, oh, there's that thing. I saw it on Tumblr a long time ago, a list of like all of these feelings that you can't put into words. That shit is so spiritual. Like when you get into like synesthesia and like all these things, like that is like the walls of the spiritual realm being like put into place for you, even though it's like so you can't like contain it like water, but it gives you like reflections kind of, of all these different feelings that you can't really, when you don't just feel angry, you don't just feel sad, you don't just feel like it's layered, it's detailed, and that is the spiritual realm. And that can give you then a clue into so many things, because then you start feeling things that other people feel, right? When you really are in your then, right? And that's when then you're an empath, because you can feel what somebody else feels, not just because you can relate to the situation, but like for psychics you can really feel it. Like that's one of the things, like I feel a lot of the things that other people are going. I get mad and then don't really know why, and like sometimes it's related to my own life, and then sometimes it's literally not. Like sometimes it's literally like me picking up somebody else's stuff, right? And so then I have to go and filter it through, like pulling, like it made me think of like shaking rocks, like filtering through water and finding what you need to find. Sometimes it's like being intuitive, like just, or like trying to find the gold and like at the bottom of like panning for gold, kind of like what's the most important part that I need to share, do the message, and what is just spiritual. Somebody just, what did I just catch, what did I just happen to catch out there, like catching fish. You see what I'm saying? So that's just something I really wanted to share for anyone who's kind of like learning their intuition, or wanting to know, wanting to understand psychic abilities, especially like what is it, what are you really doing. It takes practice, it takes like an understanding of your own emotions and who you are first, what emotions you're just comfortable feeling because of like trauma that continuously affects you that you haven't worked through yet, right? Because you have to know that, because I feel like that never stops. Like you still feel triggered by those same kind of things, because then it's programming. So there's that. And then there's other people's shit. And then there's people sending shit at you purposely, or somebody talking shit about you. And unfortunately, you are able to like pick up what they were, and then Like, just all these different things come into it. But the emotions are like that gateway. So, don't be afraid of those. Don't be afraid of those. Because, those are the things. Those are the things. And not just connect you psychically, but connect you, I don't know, to your heart space. To your heart space. To your ability to be open and to love and to accept and to like exist on a loving frequency is also your emotions. Because that's like the purification. That's like the water purifying your soul, your emotions. And that's why we cry. That's literally why we cry. It's like an opening of your heart, the pouring of water, the pouring of emotions, the intuitive, So it's like when you deny that, you're denying a magical part of yourself. So don't forget that. And yeah, that's really just what I wanted to share. Something to think about. And you take care. Good night. I'm going to bed. Okay, bye.